Right now this morning, La Crosse considers a new city administrator position. Next, the potential price tag and what it means for your local government. And creativity and mental health, the surprising connection. Coming up, why your hobby might be as important as your job for your well-being.
And temperature-wise, is it still fall or are we in summertime? Yeah, temperatures are going to warm up again next day coming up tomorrow. I'll have that coming up in your quick cast.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us for News 8 Now this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Wednesday, September 25th. Yeah, fall or summer. You know, we know I'm ready for cooler temperatures, but some people might enjoy the warm sticking around. I think you might be one of them.
I'm one of them. And yeah, but you're going to get your wish. You're going to get your wish in at least 7 to 8 days from now. So let's get that going on. Right now, take a look at what I've got going on for you here. You're looking at the possibility of mild to warm conditions as we go through the next couple of days. Yeah, some folks are going to be staying mild, but we're going to get into warmer conditions here in La Crosse. And what I mean by that, we're going to see temperatures in the upper 70s to at least the low 80s. And the low 80s will put us right back into the warm. And we have less rainfall coming in. That potential hurricane down in the Gulf, well, eventually that's going to try to make its move, but it's going to stay a little bit farther south than we anticipated. Take a gander at what's happening right now. We've got some slightly cooler air coming in from Canada. We've got some of that warmth still holding on to us and an area of low pressure that is just around St. Louis, and that is a cutoff low, and that's holding on, bringing up some of that humidity and just a little bit of that. There's a taste of it right now. You can see what is now Tropical Storm Helene making its way over by the Yucatan Peninsula, and if it brushes there, that may alter its location as it may make landfall coming into the U.S. In the next day or so. In fact, take a look here as we go into it here. We've got that area of low pressure there, that cutoff low, and it continues to spin, ushering in some cooler air, and it's some drier conditions here locally for us as well. As we get into the headlines here, you can see as we go into it, fog this early morning. It is patchy to dense, and the temperatures, as I already told you, will increase as we go through the week. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. New this morning, an active search and rescue operation underway in Yellowstone National Park for a Winona man. 22-year-old Austin King was last heard from September 17th. Authorities say he called friends and family from the summit of Eagle Peak in the park's remote southeast corner. Since Saturday, 85 personnel, 2 helicopters, a search dog team, and a drone all been combing the area. Searchers report snow accumulations up to 6 feet deep on Eagle Peak. Also new this morning, an Eau Claire man is dead after falling from Devil's Tower National Monument over the weekend. According to the National Park Service, 21-year-old Stuart Philip Porter fell from the second pitch of El Craco Diablo around 8 p.m. Sunday. First responders found him 40 minutes later and pronounced him dead. Porter's climbing partner was stranded on the tower. He was safely rescued. This marks the 7th climbing-related death at Devil's Tower since the monument opened to climbers. And also new this morning, La Crosse may soon see a major change in city leadership. The city council is set to vote next month on creating a new city administrator position. According to city officials, the role would develop and present the budget, coordinate daily operations, and ensure departments enforce council policies. It's not meant to replace the mayor. It's allow him to focus on executive duties. If approved, the city administrator's estimated salary range would be between $187,000 to $194,000. After almost 4 decades, law enforcement officials are filing charges in the 1985 murder of a UWL student. 60-year-old truck driver Michael Popp of Tomah is accused of killing Terry Dollaway. She went missing Valentine's Day 1985. Her body was found 4 days later in Vernon County. Officers first interviewed Popp in March of '85 about the case, but it wasn't until September 2022 that officers confirmed Popp was a match for DNA found on Dollaway's body.
But what I can say is there's been advancements over the years, and those advancements have helped make identification in many cases.
Popp was arrested in Monroe County last weekend for an unrelated case. He's accused of stalking and domestic abuse in that one. He was moved to Vernon County Jail and now facing first-degree murders for Dollaway's death and being held on $1 million bond. An investigation is underway after authorities found a body yesterday near Wagon Park. Just before 7:30 a.m., La Crosse police were called to the 1500 block of Cass Street for a report of a deceased person. Police say it appears to be an isolated incident that is still under investigation. This morning, new rising fears of all-out war in the Middle East as Israel began a barrage of strikes in southern Lebanon targeting Hezbollah. Hundreds of people, including a senior Hezbollah commander, have been killed. Jared Hill has more for us.
Overnight missiles lit up the sky above the Israel-Lebanon border after Israel launched dozens of new strikes targeting Hezbollah. The Iran-backed militant group has confirmed that a top commander was killed in a strike near Beirut. Lebanese health officials say in just a matter of days, more than 500 people have been killed, including dozens of children. Thousands of others have fled. The situation is difficult and frightening, she says. Israel says its Iron Dome intercepted hundreds of Hezbollah missiles as military officials there insist they want their operation to be as short as possible. In a recorded message, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the Lebanese people Israel's fight is with Hezbollah, not them, while warning that anyone who hides rockets in their garage will not have a home. Back in the U.S., in his final speech before the United Nations General Assembly, President Joe Biden called for diplomacy.
Full-scale war is not in anyone's interest. Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible.
An emergency UN Security Council meeting has been called to discuss the situation later today.
The leaders of Israel and Lebanon expected to address the United Nations Thursday as a representative for the Palestinian Authority expected to do the same. Today, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will deliver his address, now more than 2 years since Russia invaded his country. Prosecutors have formally charged a man with attempted assassination of a presidential candidate for allegedly plotting to kill former President Donald Trump. Prosecutors say Ryan Ralph camped outside Trump's West Palm Beach golf course with a rifle, ready to shoot through a fence as the former president golfed on September 15th. They told a federal judge Ralph stalked Trump in Florida for over a month, and cell phone data places him at the golf course on the day of the incident. Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hovde made a campaign stop at a Tomah cranberry bog. Hovde highlighted the challenges Wisconsin farmers face due to inflation and government regulation, he says. Hovde argues instead of more regulations, Washington should listen to farmers and help them succeed.
Wisconsin, the agricultural community, is such an enormously important part of Wisconsin, and we have to make sure our farmers can thrive and survive, because a lot of farmers are going through a lot of difficulty today.
Hovde also visited the La Crosse Center to speak about health care and housing at the Wisconsin County Association's annual conference. Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre revealing in a congressional hearing he has Parkinson's disease. Favre was being questioned about allegations he helped divert federal welfare funds, including for a volleyball facility at his alma mater, the University of Southern Mississippi. He's denied any wrongdoing and isn't facing criminal charges. Favre, who played 20 NFL seasons, estimated in an earlier interview he suffered thousands of concussions during his career. Happening today, lawmakers in Washington set to vote on funding an extension to avert a government shutdown. The Senate has reached an agreement on a government funding extension pending House approval. This continuing resolution would push the shutdown deadline from Monday to December 20th. The Biden administration urges swift passage to allow time for approving the 2025 fiscal year budget. Also happening today, the West Salem School District will hold a community listening session to help residents understand what's on their upcoming referendum. That session being held from 6 to 7 p.m. in the Hyder meeting room at the school district office. If you can't attend that one, there's another meeting tomorrow from noon to 1 p.m. Tomah School District officials are courting voter support for a $177 million referendum. That plan would build a new high school and repurpose existing buildings. The current high school would become a middle school, and LaGrange Elementary would transform into an early childhood center. The district says that would save $13 million in maintenance and benefits future generations. Voters will decide on the referendum on the November ballot.
But you can imagine what a new high school would do for our high school students. In a 21st century setting, we'd have improved CTE opportunities, stronger space for our growing music and band and orchestra productions.
District voters currently pay about $630 a year for $100,000 of property value. This referendum would increase that to $259 a year. Hansen says falls in line with the tax levy from 6 years ago. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead on your morning news. Instagram's new teen account settings are now in effect. We'll tell you what's changed. Coca-Cola is pulling its Coca-Cola spiced flavor, and Petco is recommitting to an adoption-only policy for rabbits. Boeing's Machinists Union says it won't vote on the company's latest contract proposal, which was offered to members without negotiation. Coming up, more on the ongoing strike and the union demands. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Look at this diamond necklace that was worn at 2 British coronations is expected to sell for up to $2.8 million at auction. The 18th century piece, weighing about 300 carats, was likely created a decade before the French Revolution. The jewel is on exhibition at Sotheby's in London until Wednesday. Then it'll head to Switzerland, where it'll be sold. As you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the birthplace of the Big Mac, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Didn't know that one, did you guys? Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
The world's largest festival returns the last full weekend in September. The Warrens Cranberry Festival continues to gather foodies and thrill seekers alike with a one-of-a-kind spectacle that can only be found in the last full weekend in September. Visit cranfest.com for more information.
I remember coming home from school and pounding on the door, but my mother wouldn't answer. She'd be passed out inside. You know, my mother had a drug abuse problem. She struggled with addiction to prescription pills her whole life. But today with fentanyl, one pill, just one pill can kill. So I've worked with Republicans to stop the flow of fentanyl that's poisoning families across Wisconsin. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message. This fight hits close to home.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More sofas, more recliners, more mattresses, more of everything. You're going to find whatever you want, and you're going to find plenty of it. And it's all priced to go with 0% easy payment plans available. And as always, free delivery. Just try that anywhere else. Come visit us today.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
Hi, I'm Danielle, General Manager here at the Board Store. In 1989, when I first saw my dad on the TV talking about high quality and low prices, I wasn't quite sure how I felt. But now, 35 years later, with this exceptional showroom, high quality products, knowledgeable staff, and the best installation crews in the area, I couldn't be more proud. And we look forward to continuing to serve all your home improvement needs for many more years to come. Come see us at the Board Store.
As the mom of a daughter, I'm livid that boys are now being allowed to compete in girls' sports. It's just wrong, and I blame Tammy Baldwin. She voted to let biological men into women's sports. Worse, Baldwin co-sponsored legislation to force girls to share locker rooms with biological men. Tammy Baldwin is failing to keep our families safe. Tammy Baldwin's extreme values are wrong for Wisconsin. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The world's largest festival returns the last full weekend in September. The Warrens Cranberry Festival continues to gather foodies and thrill seekers alike with a one-of-a-kind spectacle that can only be found in the last full weekend in September. Visit cranfest.com for more information.
Well, good morning to you and happy Wednesday. Hey, take a look at what I've got going on for you here. This is a nice little look coming out of Kennedy. You've got some cooler air kind of slipping in. We're on the periphery of that right now, as you can see, and that's still ushering clouds out of the way and taking them to the east. And so we're holding on to some cooler air coming in from Canada, but here's the deal. We're not holding on to a lot of that cool, so we're going to stay in the mild today. We're taking it right back down to the Gulf of Mexico, and you're holding on to what will be Helene. This is Tropical Storm Helene right now, soon to be a hurricane later on into the morning hours in the early afternoon. It's also going to make a brushing of the Yucatan Peninsula, not just rolling over it, but it may interact with portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, and that could alter its trajectory. That being said, let's take a quick look here at what I've got going on for you here locally. Fog has returned, and it is here, and it will continue to press right through your morning commute. So bear in mind, if you remember what it was like yesterday, yeah, it's going to be like that again today. Mild temperatures today, and as I mentioned, we're going to get warmer as we go into tomorrow. Some folks will still hold on to some mild conditions, but here locally, and of course Eau Claire, we're going to hold on to some warmer conditions. Those low 80s are on the way. Holding on to some patchy fog out, getting closer to the dense fog up there by Eau Claire and Ladysmith. That's going to fill in within the next 45 minutes. We're also seeing patchy to dense fog here for La Crosse, Sparta, and Volkfield, all the way down to Prairie du Chien. That is definitely in the dense fog. That's going to continue as we finish out the morning hours. As you can see, that's going widespread, and then as we go to the 8 o'clock hour, it begins to diminish right back into the 9 o'clock hour as well, and we should be done just by the 10 o'clock hour. So current temperatures right now, 40s, the low 40s, upper 40s, low 50s currently for you right now. We are at least 1 to at least about 5 degrees warmer in some locations, as you can see here, and we'll take it into how this all plays out. Yeah, we're going to get into some better looking conditions to finish out your day. Observed wind speeds right now are light, and that is conducive for your fog. All right, I'll have more coming up for you in just a moment.
In your consumer news this morning, Instagram making some big changes aimed at protecting young users. The social media platform's new teen account settings took effect yesterday. That means accounts for users under 18 will automatically be set to private and placed in the strictest messaging settings. Only people they're allowed connected to will be able to send them messages, tag them in photos, or mention them in comments. The new settings will also restrict what kinds of content they can view. The app will automatically mute notifications between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. too. Coca-Cola's new spiced flavor has fizzled just 6 months after the beverage hit shelves. Coca-Cola said it's pulling Coca-Cola Spiced to make room for a new flavor that'll launch next year. Spiced Coke was the company's newest permanent flavor. Spiced Coke, how many times can I say that, right? Blended traditional Coke flavor with raspberry notes, but it wasn't actually spicy. Coca-Cola said in a statement the company is always looking at what customers like and adjusting flavors accordingly. And Petco says it's recommitting to an adoption-only policy for rabbits. This change comes after Rabbit.org accused the company of betraying its previous promises to stop all rabbit sales. Petco recently completed a limited pilot program that sold less than 50 rabbits in select locations. All remaining miniature rabbits as part of the program will now be offered for adoption. Animal welfare groups criticize the sale of rabbits because it leads to regretful owners who don't understand the cost and time it takes to care for these animals. Boeing's Machinists Union says it will not vote on the company's latest contract proposal, which was offered to members without negotiation with the union. Bridget Chavez has more on the ongoing strike.
I think the strike will continue until the membership, decides that what's being offered is of real benefit to them.
Nissan Benin, a union shop steward in Everett, says Boeing's improved best and final offer still isn't enough.
For 10 years, we had not just stagnating wages, but regressive wages.
Boeing's latest offer includes a general wage increase of 30% over 4 years. That's up from the original offer of 25%, but remember, the union was seeking 40%. A doubled ratification bonus up to $6,000, an increase to matches on retirement contributions, and a continued commitment to build its next new plane in Western Washington. Benin is a 13-year veteran of the company. He says this contract needs to make up for the last decade.
Some of our members cannot afford housing. We even have several members that are living out of their vehicles. They're essentially mobile homeless, and they're just trying to get by.
Boeing ended its pension in 2014, a major sticking point for those on the picket lines.
Many executives in the company are pension holders themselves, so for them to take away pensions from as pension holders doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's not just what's missing on the offer that has union members and leadership outraged. It's how Boeing presented the offer.
Non-traditional and not strictly legal. They're definitely playing outside the bounds of the rules.
Sidestepping the union negotiating committee and going directly to members.
We should be at a point where we can just deal with each other the way that was agreed upon, like adults. This resembles a child throwing a tantrum.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:19. Let's check in with Art for a look at our forecast.
All right, Alexandra, and away we go, taking a look at that patchy to dense fog out there right now, as I've been mentioning. In fact, it's on to a faster start than what we had yesterday. So bear that in mind as you start your morning. You might want to start a little bit earlier, and of course, maybe walk the kids to the bus stop today. Make sure they're okay with all that, the traffic and folks crossing the street, things like that. Milder conditions will ensue today, and then we get into warmer conditions with less rainfall in our forecast. And as that happens, well, we're going to stay with more sunshine coming into your weekend than the mostly cloudy skies that we were looking at before yesterday. Hey, take a look here. The radar is dry right now, and we're holding on to at least a few clouds kind of drifting by out of Ladysmith and working down to the central portion of our area, and then eventually they'll get out of the way. The fog is here, and then the mild temperatures will resume as we get in the afternoon, and the warmer conditions will be in the forecast as well for us as we get into it. Take a look as we go through your current visibility. We're looking at widespread patchy to dense fog out there right now, and that continues on. Yeah, you see about 10 miles visibility in Viroqua and Winona as well, but you're going to hold on to conditions to be a little bit more than what you see here on the screen. I went out all the way out to the South Valley area yesterday after our newscast just to see what was happening, and it was really dense fog, even though it was saying we were in at least 12 miles of visibility, so that wasn't really showing the case down to the South Valley area. That being said, we'll get rid of this fog as we go through the 9 o'clock hour, but you're going to see it increase going into the 7 o'clock hour, into the 8 o'clock hour. It slowly begins to go the opposite direction and begin to back off, going to at least the 10 o'clock hour for this morning. All right, Eau Claire, you've got the sunshine mixed in with a little partly cloudy skies, then mostly sunny skies going through the mid-morning hours, turning into, again, partly cloudy skies. So we're going to be in and out of the clouds for you today, getting to 65 by the late morning hours. La Crosse holding on to fog and low cloud activity right now that is hampering any type of sky viewing right now. So you're going to hold on to that all the way to partly cloudy skies by the 8 o'clock hour. Then mostly sunny skies will ensue by 9 o'clock, getting into at least sunshine going into the 11 o'clock hour. You'll also look right now, not much in the way of cloud cover showing on the graphic here, but you're going to be looking at least the winds coming out of the north and then going down to the southeast, slowly but surely pushing that cloud cover out of the way, going over the Lake Michigan area. By the time we get in the 1 o'clock hour, temperatures will ensue, temperatures holding on to mostly mild conditions, and we'll finish out like this today. 74 to about 79 degrees. La Crosse at 78 degrees, getting into Eau Claire, holding on to at least about 82, 83 degrees, maybe if we're lucky here. I should not say that, about 79 degrees possibly. We'll go right into how this all plays out for today and tomorrow, holding on to sunshine, mild and warm conditions on the way. And that will continue all the way into the weekend with, again, fewer clouds than we expected. Going into Monday, temperatures around 79 degrees for our high with a 20% chance of rain. And look at the drop going in from 79 to 66 degrees for your high on Tuesday. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. Time now is 6:22. Still ahead, a new study showing that doing those fun arts and crafts may not only alleviate boredom, it could also be beneficial for your health. We'll explain the link just ahead.
Coming up in sports, we hit the volleyball court. See how West Salem's offense is taking things to a new level, plus a battle for the Ridge and Valley crown as Kickapoo and DeSoto squaring off. That and more coming up in the Morning Blitz.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $30. That's a 20-cent fuel saver for every $30 you spend in-store and online. Thursday only, and only at Hy-Vee.
It can be backbreaking work all day, every day, pretty much on your feet. So it burns me up when Eric Hovde says people in Wisconsin don't work hard. The guy is a multi-millionaire California banker. He has absolutely no idea what we're going through. He's living the high life out there in a big fancy house. He even brags about being in the 1%. Listen, don't come here and tell us we're not working hard when we are just getting by. Eric Hovde doesn't respect us at all. The guy's a straight up jerk. ESCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. These places employ us, sponsor the Little League team, and feed and clothe us. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done to support our business community. I know that the side of the aisle you're on matters less than being on the side of our main streets. No party has a monopoly on good ideas. I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm working for our businesses, working for our communities, and I'm working for you.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $30. That's a 20-cent fuel saver for every $30 you spend in-store and online. Thursday only, and only at Hy-Vee.
Friday Night Frenzy, Friday at 10 on News 8.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. High school athletes are proven to be bigger, faster, and stronger year after year. UCLA Health had a study where they found better training techniques plus better technology has created better athletes at the high school age. You see pitchers throwing harder, track athletes running faster, and even on the volleyball court, hitters are able to attack the nets and create offense at a higher rate, which has helped the West Salem Panthers get off to a hot start this season. West Salem's Becky Murphy is in her 5th year as head coach for the Panthers and has her girls riding a 16-game conference win streak dating back to last season. The Panthers are ranked 4th in the latest D2 rankings and have been playing at a really high level all season long. A big reason for that comes from the summer.
I think a lot of that off-season training helps with that conditioning and weightlifting and stuff. So it's fun when they come to us and they're ready to go, and you know, they just have a lot of skills that they've developed over the years. They play volleyball maybe in the off-season or other sports in the off-season, and they're just ready to go.
The Panthers have a number of outside and middle hitters who can rise up to the occasion at a moment's notice. They're tasked with making split-second decisions on when to be aggressive and when to play it smart.
I'm just ready to go at all times, but especially in the big moments as well. To be ready to swing and still be aggressive is important. Everyone's doing their part to be aggressive and be strong at the net, and we have a lot of height and different people that use different shots and play a lot of volleyball, not just in school but in club as well.
But it takes an entire team to run a smooth operation. The Panthers setters help unlock the offense by mixing it up and being unpredictable.
I think our setters do a really nice job of putting the ball right where it needs to be. So if we get the pass up to our setter, we can get a kill out of it no matter what. And our hitters do a really nice job adjusting to out-of-system sets. And we've been practicing a lot on our hitting and our offense, so I think all the hard work is paying off.
Well, it paid off last night. The Panthers had not one but 2 matches against conference opponents. West Salem took down Viroqua and Westby, 2 teams who were right behind them in the conference standings. We also had a battle at the top of the Ridge and Valley Conference. DeSoto hosting Kickapoo. Panthers came out firing on all cylinders. Harmony Wegner getting up for the kill, and DeSoto can't return it. Panthers dominate the first set. Second set, DeSoto looks to make things interesting. The set by Ella Cook, knocked through the gym by standout sophomore Kylie Venner. She closes out the nail-biting set, but DeSoto's luck would run dry as tonight's star of the game, Harmony Wegner, takes matters back into her own hands, gets the kill. Kickapoo wins the match in 4 sets, 3-1. And in Ithaca, And an Ithaca win means those two teams still at the top of the conference standings with 1 loss each. So we've got a tight race for the Ridge and Valley crown. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Ashley knows that some of our most important traditions and memories start around the dining table. From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, we have versatile options that fit any space, with styles ranging from mid-century modern to farmhouse or traditional, starting at just $499.99, only at Ashley.
As a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on investing right now in you, the American people. And we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery.
Violently attacked a woman physically and sexually.
The border crisis is real here in Wisconsin.
Criminal gangs harming our community.
We're stretched thin. Open borders and weak politicians are crushing us.
Rebecca Cook is one of them. She doesn't back law enforcement. She'll never secure the border. She doesn't even want to.
That's why we stand with Derek Van Orton. He has our back.
And I've got yours. I'm Derek Van Orton, and I approve this message.
It's Ford SUV season in the Northland. Time for great offers across the entire lineup, including Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. Get ready for the coming season with weather-ready features that make life easier, like heated seating, a heated steering wheel, and remote start. Amazing offers on your favorite Ford SUVs. This is Ford SUV season. Get 2.9% financing for 66 months plus $2,000 flex by cash plus a free limited maintenance plan on Explorer. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Tammy Baldwin on transparency.
I don't think there should be two sets of rules, one for the wealthy and one for the rest of us.
12 years later, Baldwin pushed for conflict of interest regulations, but exempted herself. And Baldwin won't disclose any shared assets she has with her partner, despite the potential for conflict of interest. Tell Tammy Baldwin, we deserve the truth. Wisconsin Principles is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I have had the privilege of working with an exceptional team to install over 12,000 home improvements for local homeowners in the last 35 years. Now it's time for me to spend a little more time with my bride of over 50 years. Fortunately, I found an experienced remodeling contractor and corporate project manager to lead the board store into the future.
And with an outstanding team by my side, I am proud to lead this amazing company my dad has built. And we look forward to continuing to serve you with the great value that is the board store trademark.
While families struggle to pay bills, Harris and the Democrats are wasting our tax dollars on their extreme liberal agenda, giving government checks to illegal immigrants, funding a Madison clinic where minors get transgender therapy without parents' consent, pushing high schools to allow boys to compete in girls' sports. Senator Baldwin fights for this madness. Tammy Baldwin, radical, extreme, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Looking for a better night's sleep? Ashley Sleep offers mattresses for every level of comfort, from soft, cloud-like comfort to firm next-level support. We have affordable mattress options for everybody. Find your perfect match today, only at Ashley. Shop more deals in store and online.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. In your morning medical news, a new study found chemicals linked to breast cancer are leaching into our food. According to that study, 40 of the nearly 200 chemicals connected to breast cancer were recently detected in food packaging and are already being classified as hazardous by regulatory agencies. The findings come as rates of early onset breast cancer in women under 50 are rising. Experts say the trend can't be explained by genetics alone. The study co-author says getting rid of these known or suspected carcinogens in the food supply is a huge opportunity for cancer prevention. Another recent study found making arts and crafts improves your mental health as much as having a job. Creating art has previously been known to reduce the body's stress hormone, but this new research goes further, showing it can boost your overall well-being. Michael Yoshida has more on the study and how you can incorporate its findings into your own life.
A new study in the United Kingdom finds making arts and crafts improves your well-being, even more than having a job.
They were more satisfied with their lives.
they were happier, and they had more of a sense that their lives were worthwhile.
The study analyzed answers from more than 7,000 people who took part in a national survey in the UK between 2019 and 2020. When researchers factored in things like gender, age, financial stability, and even employment, creative activities still boosted well-being to a greater degree.
This initially surprised us because we would think, being in employment is really linked to your sense that your life is worthwhile, for a lot of us anyway. So when you're crafting, you're often engaged in quite kind of mindful activity. You really have this sense of mastery or control.
Arts and crafts have been a part of the healthcare world for decades. In Minnesota, Arizona, and Florida, Mayo Clinic offers humanities and medicine programs for enjoyment and inpatient care. It includes things like arts at the bedside, with musicians, artists, writers, and more.
Really any type of creative outlet that you can think of that would be a benefit to the patient, but also we find that it provides a lot of value and benefit to their visitors and their loved ones who are with them as well.
While the UK study found a positive connection between crafting and mental health, arts and crafts were not associated with decreased levels of anxiety or loneliness, which researchers say requires further investigation. Benedictine Living Community hosted an open house and ribbon cutting to reveal its newly remodeled areas. One of those areas is the activity room, which now includes an updated kitchen. The housing director says it's great for residents to have the new space.
Nice to see them be proud of where they live and to live in a beautiful home. Many of them came from their own beautiful homes, so it's nice for them to want to share the space and to be proud of where they live.
At the event, attendees enjoyed live music, toured some of the remodeled areas, and entered a raffle. The Western Wisconsin Workforce Development Center hosted the Power of Partnership open house. That event brought together organizations, employers, and job seekers to create connections and strengthen Wisconsin's workforce. The DWD's regional director says the open house wasn't just for people looking for jobs.
We also can help people who are looking to change careers or that are already participating in the workforce and find resources to upskill themselves for the job that they currently have.
September is Workforce Development Month. The Kleenex brand based in Neenah is celebrating 100 years in business. Eric Peterson has more on the impact the company has made in the papermaking industry.
The celebration begins inside the experimental mill in downtown Neenah. Mark Berbert is the operations manager.
I've been at the X Mill now for 29 of my 32 years, and then to have the X Mill be part of Kimberly-Clark for 100 years, and really we're on the site of the birthplace of Kimberly-Clark. The Globe Mill was our original facility, was on site.
Berbert says the X Mill focuses on research and engineering, performing about 250 new tests each year.
We do trials and product development for Kleenex, Cottonelle, Scott Bath, Vivatowel, Scott Towel, Cottonelle flushable wipes are some of our main products.
We make it better by adding lotion to the surface of it. We added different treatments in order to make new, exciting, different things. We have been able to bring different chemistry involved in order to make better products.
Brenda Coulter is the Family Care Innovation Director for Research and Engineering. She says celebrating a century of the brand is more than a milestone.
100 years of Kleenex is a pretty remarkable thing. Not many brands have survived that long.
Plant officials say what began in 1924 as a cold cream remover has evolved into a product used in about 175 different countries. Because you don't grab a tissue, you grab a Kleenex.
We grab a Kleenex.
I mean, what do you think when you hear that?
That's quite an honor, I'll say, knowing that the products that we made that were developed right in this facility are still standing that test of time and are so recognized around the world that, you're taking a Kleenex.
Kleenex is one of about a dozen different brands made by the Kimberly-Clark Corporation. Time now is 6:38. Let's check back in with Art to tell us what to expect on our morning commute.
All right, we have
well, let's call it fall-like conditions expected today. Yeah, it's going to be in the afternoon, but for now, we're holding on to this as we get into tomorrow. Take a look here. Summer won't leave us as we go into temperatures that are going to be, expect 80s to upper 70s until at least Monday for our highs coming into the afternoon. So right now, we're looking at Eau Claire holding on to some fog, low cloud activity, but it's 49 degrees for you right now. 77 in the afternoon for you. Sunny skies will prevail. Then we get to La Crosse. We have some dense fog here right now, holding on to 50 degrees for the kids going to school today. Then La Crosse holding on to at least 78 degrees for a high today. Mostly sunny skies as well. So we have the fog that's right now. Even up in Eau Claire, you're picking up some fog right now, currently getting closer to the dense fog. Mild conditions, as I've already mentioned today, and then we'll continue to warm you up. And of course, the rainfall is going to back off with more sunshine coming our way as we go into the weekend. Hey, current visibility right now, you've got patchy to dense fog. Eau Claire, you're now down to 1 mile of visibility, so you've got some dense fog getting closer to you there. All the way down into La Crosse, the same dense fog across the board to Sparta, Volkfield, and down to areas by Boscobel, Prairie du Chien, holding on some patchy fog as well. It'll get out of our way as we finish out the morning hours going into at least the late morning, holding on to at least clearing skies slowly but surely. You can see it kind of picking up for Eau Claire and Ladysmith, then backing off as we go through the day. Back to you, my friend. All right, coming up in our Buzz Report, we're looking at Broadway is honoring James Earl Jones, the late James Earl Jones. As we get into it, we'll show you how they will receive him as far as Broadway is concerned, planning a great honor for him when we return. Stick around.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hovde is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hovde's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hovde took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hovde.
Are your toilets in need of an upgrade? Not only can older toilets be uncomfortable, they can also clog more and increase your utility bills. At Maxwell White, we offer professionally trusted Kohler toilets. Our popular best-selling toilet is the Kohler Highline, available in various heights to provide ultimate accessibility and ease of use. Don't wait. Start enjoying the exceptional power, innovation, and water-saving sustainability of a new Kohler toilet. Trust the toilet experts at Maxwell White. Plumbing done right. Call today.
Tammy Baldwin on transparency.
I don't think there should be two sets of rules, one for the wealthy and one for the rest of us.
12 years later, Baldwin pushed for conflict of interest regulations, but exempted herself. And Baldwin won't disclose any shared assets she has with her partner, despite the potential for conflict of interest. Tell Tammy Baldwin, we deserve the truth. Wisconsin Principals is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
Lane's Farm and Fleet's fall tool sale is going on now. Shop our unbeatable selection and prices on great brands to help you tackle fall projects. Like over half off 50-foot Yellow Jacket extension cords, just $32.99. This Milwaukee brushless grinder with paddle switch, only $119. Save $15 on 3M Digital WorkTunes hearing protection, $49.99. And shop new fall colors of men's work and sport sweatshirts, starting at $19.99.
Find value at Lane's Farm and Fleet.
All right, let's take it right to your fog and low cloud activity. I'm going to take you back outside again to show you how this all plays out for you. We're getting into areas right by there you go, Eau Claire and of course La Crosse. You're going to see the fog, the dense fog that's over in portions right now. This is La Crosse, looking at that dense fog in Eau Claire, looking a little bit better, even though they're at 1 mile of visibility currently. Holding on to at least all the way up there, 1 mile of visibility. Patchy fog up Ladysmith, working down into the central portion. You're seeing a lot of areas that are picking up some fog and low cloud activity. Dense fog here coming into areas right by Sparta. Sparta's improving a little bit, as well as Vogue Field. They were in dense fog right now, but earlier, just about 15 minutes ago, you're holding on to at least dense fog by Boscobel. As we get into it, the radar is quiet as well. We're also going to be seeing eventually these winds coming out of the north and then cutting out to the southeast, and that's going to push any type of cloud cover out of the way. There's that troughing pattern right here, and associated with that, right by St. Louis, you're looking at, again, a cutoff low that is really just kind of ushering cloud cover out of our area. It's kind of pulling it away to the east, and slowly but surely, there it is currently right there. And of course, the humidity and moisture that's still in the atmosphere working from the Gulf of Mexico. That being said, mild conditions will ensue for us today. We'll hold on to temperatures mostly in the 70s today, and then eventually this ridging is going to continue to build, and as it does, well, all that heat's going to start to work its way right back over to the Midwest, and well, our temperatures are going to warm up. We're going to be hitting the low 80s for most locations, and then eventually you'll see this continue to stay with us all the way into next week as high pressure continues to build, and that's going to squeeze all that moisture coming out of the Gulf and working it up all the way up to Tennessee and Kentucky. You'll see that continue on, but it's not supposed to be, it's not going to get higher than what we anticipated. It's going to stay a little bit to our south, and so we're not going to get as much cloud cover coming for the weekend. We're not going to see as much rainfall in the weekend as well, so we're going to be in some of the clearing skies. You can see some of that wind cutting out to Lake Michigan and no longer moving across our area, so it's going out to the south and east out of the area. That being said, we get into the noon hour. We're holding on to 70s, mostly widespread, and then eventually we'll get into those low to middle 70s to finish out most of the afternoon. Getting into the latter portion of the afternoon, we're going to be seeing conditions to be like that, mostly some upper 70s to at least the middle 70s to finish out your day. And then we get into the evening, and you're holding on to temperatures that are going to be mostly in the 50s, cooling down pretty quickly to finish out what's happening. All right, so we go into it, the possibility of a major hurricane hitting the Florida peninsula there. I should not say the peninsula, but the panhandle, excuse me, and then continuing on, pushing a whole lot of rainfall right into Atlanta. That's going to be something else all the way up into areas right by portions of St. Louis, maybe Cincinnati, holding on to a little bit of that rainfall, but you can see not much of that rainfall is supposed to be coming our way any longer. So that being said, today highs in the 70s, some widespread 70s. Then tomorrow 81 degrees, getting to 82 degrees for Friday, and then for Saturday you're going to see more of the same. Back to you.
In our morning buzz report, the trailer just dropped for a new documentary featuring Bruce Springsteen. Road Diary. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band takes you backstage and on stage to see how the Boss and Friends put on their legendary concerts. The documentary includes archival footage and interviews with Springsteen. The film premieres October 25th on Hulu and Disney+. Broadway is honoring the late James Earl Jones. Theaters will dim their lights tomorrow at 6:45 in his honor. Jones, who died September 9th at 93, won 2 Tony Awards for The Great White Hope and Fences, and received a special Lifetime Achievement Tony in 2017. In 2022, Broadway's Court Theater was renamed the James Earl Jones Theater.
Something hellish is here. This killer is someone who knows anatomy.
Ryan Murphy's new FX horror series Grotesquerie finds Niecy Nash playing a detective, helping a nun and reporter investigate a series of gruesome crimes. But personal demons interfere when they find themselves entangled in a sinister web. Grotesquerie airs on FX today and streams tomorrow on Hulu.
People have wondered who I really am. You know, portrayal of me, I'm a bad guy. But no one really knows me.
The docuseries follows McMahon's rise and fall, taking his business from a small regional one to an international powerhouse to his resignation. Although he participated, McMahon says the series falls short, claiming it conflates the character Mr. McMahon with his true self. Mr. McMahon will start streaming today on Netflix. And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, sadly, there are no birthdays to celebrate with you today.
Nope, but if you know someone celebrating, happy birthday to them. And if you know someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, that's right. We'd love to just have you upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, we have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is after the break.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery.
Violently attacked a woman physically and sexually.
The border crisis is real here in Wisconsin.
Criminal gangs harming our community.
We're stretched thin. Open borders and weak politicians are crushing us.
Rebecca Cook is one of them. She doesn't back law enforcement. She'll never secure the border. She doesn't even want to.
That's why we stand with Derek Van Orton. He has our back.
And I've got yours. I'm Derek Van Orton, and I approve this message.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Are you thinking about new windows and doors? A new bathroom, a new kitchen? Maybe a sunroom, siding, or a deck. Get started today with special savings while we celebrate serving homeowners for over 35 years. While we celebrate Danielle becoming the new general manager.
And celebrate Dad's 80th birthday.
Best products.
The best people.
Best prices.
35th anniversary at the board store.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
National Democrats are spending millions on deceptive ads like these that lie and try to confuse you. Why? Because Democrats like Harris and Baldwin don't want you to focus on their radical record, allowing men to compete in girls' sports, funding a clinic that offers transgender therapy to minors without parents' consent, giving stimulus checks to illegals while Wisconsin families struggle. Baldwin and Democrats want you to focus on anything but their radical agenda.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
As the mom of a daughter, I'm livid that boys are now being allowed to compete in girls' sports. It's just wrong, and I blame Tammy Baldwin. She voted to let biological men into women's sports. Worse, Baldwin co-sponsored legislation to force girls to share locker rooms with biological men. Tammy Baldwin is failing to keep our families safe. Tammy Baldwin's extreme values are wrong for Wisconsin. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Friday Night Frenzy, Friday at 10 on News 8.
Welcome back. It's 6:51. Time for your morning news now. After almost 4 decades, law enforcement officials are filing charges in the 1985 murder of a UWL student. 60-year-old truck driver Michael Popp of Toma is accused of killing Terry Dalloway. She went missing on Valentine's Day 1985. Her body was found 4 days later in Vernon County. Officers first interviewed Popp in March of '85 about the case, but it wasn't until September 2022 that officers confirmed Popp was a match for DNA found on Dalloway's body.
But what I can say is there's been advancements over the years, and those advancements have helped make identification in many cases.
He's being held on $1 million bond. An investigation is underway after authorities found a body yesterday near Wygant Park. Just before 7:30 a.m., La Crosse police were called to the 1500 block of Cass Street for a report of a deceased person. Police say it appears to be an isolated incident that is still under investigation. We will update you when we learn more. New this morning, an active search and rescue operation is underway in Yellowstone National Park for a Winona man. 22-year-old Austin King was last heard from September 17th when he called friends and family from the summit of Eagle Peak. Since Saturday, 85 personnel, 2 helicopters, a search dog team, and a drone have been combing the area. Searchers report snow accumulations up to 6 feet deep on Eagle Peak. Also new this morning, La Crosse may soon see a major change in city leadership. The Common Council set to vote next month on creating a new city administrator position. According to city officials, that role would develop and present the budget, coordinate daily operations, and ensure departments enforce council policies. The position isn't meant to replace Mayor Mitch Reynolds. Instead, it'll allow him to focus on executive duties. Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hubde made a campaign stop at Atoma Cranberry Bog. He highlighted the challenges he says Wisconsin farmers face due to inflation and government regulation. Hubde argues instead of more regulations, Washington should listen to farmers and help them succeed.
Wisconsin, the agricultural community is such an enormously important part of Wisconsin. And we have to make sure our farmers can thrive and survive, because a lot of farmers are going through a lot of difficulty today.
Hubde also visited the La Crosse Center, where he spoke at the Wisconsin County Association's annual conference. Yesterday, President Biden delivered his final address to the UN General Assembly. The president said now is the time to finalize the Gaza ceasefire deal that the UN Security Council approved in June. It includes the immediate release of hostages held by Hamas. Today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will address the UN gathering. Brett Favre is revealing a Parkinson's diagnosis. The former Packers quarterback disclosed his condition during a congressional hearing. He was questioned about alleged misuse of welfare funds in Mississippi, but denies any wrongdoing and faces no criminal charges. He estimates that he's suffered thousands of concussions during his 20-year NFL career. Oktoberfest is almost here. Every year, the festival creates a big impact on La Crosse's economy. From the bars to clothing stores, the festival is anticipated to bring in about $26 million for the city. The owner of Marcos Apparel, that is a clothing store in downtown, she says one of their best weeks for business is just before the festival.
We do see a lot of foot traffic the week of Oktoberfest, but honestly, once the fest begins, it turns to people enjoying the fest grounds, the parade, the tapping, and so we see the traffic slow down a little bit once Friday and Saturday roll around.
Oktoberfest runs tomorrow through Sunday.
Yeah, and for that, we're also looking at sunnier conditions for that weekend as well. But right now, we're dealing with some patchy to dense fog, not just over La Crosse right now, but across the region. And that's going to last all the way into the 10 o'clock hour. This morning, highs are looking up, though. Widespread 70s for you as you get into it. In fact, tomorrow, different story. We're going to see some 80s mixed in. So we'll go 70s and 80s, and we'll take it into warm conditions for La Crosse and Eau Claire. Hey, take it into this forecast for you there. Take this in. We're looking at upper 70s today, low 80s for the next several days going into the weekend, and then upper 70s again for Monday going into Tuesday with a big drop in local temperatures, and we'll see cooler conditions with some slight warming coming back again into next week.
Thank you, Art. Well, today is National Lobster Day. You could cook up some delicious lobster at home, or maybe visit your favorite seafood restaurant. Not Red Lobster, though. The crustaceans live at the bottom of the ocean. Should they avoid a trap that would bring them to your dinner table, some lobsters can live up to 100 years, and they weren't always a delicacy, with lobsters very plentiful around the time European settlers reached North America. Yeah, I have heard that, right? They're so expensive now, but we kind of created that.
Yeah, what they considered they were like the cockroaches of the sea or something like that beforehand. It's all about marketing, man.
I have heard that too, and I hate cockroaches, but I love lobster.
Yes, I know. I know you do.
You know you do.
Yeah.
All right, Art. Thank you for starting your morning with us. Go get some lobster. Put some lobster in your eggs, right? And we'll see you back here at noon.